Welcome to Hourglass Workshops and Conversations with Nancy and Cheryl. I'm Nancy Burns. I'm an acupuncturist in Los Gatos, California.
And I'm Cheryl Seavey. I'm a writer and a blogger in Los Gatos, California as well. Today we've been talking about, do we listen to our inner voice? And what that means, and kind of basically, I think both of us, how we could do a better job of it.
Oh, I could definitely do a better job. I consciously am now paying attention, but I still ignore it at times. And we were just talking, you had an example this morning.
Yeah. This morning I just said, I just had some watermelon for breakfast and my throat's itching. And so you asked me, did I eat anything else? I go, no, that's it. And, and how many have I done this before? Well, yeah, this is the third time that it's itched. So, and I've never had an allergy before with watermelon or any kind of fruit for that matter. So I think I need to listen to this.
There you go. Before you go into anaphylactic shock.
Exactly. So what exactly is our inner voice? What's that?
I was going to say, this is your little whisper before you get the hammer.
That's right. Yeah. And we kind of think that the inner voice comes to us in three ways. And for those of us who don't particularly listen well, first it comes as a little whisper. It's like, oh, I've got a scratchy throat, or oh, I have a hunch about something. And then it comes as more of a nudge. You've got a visual, you've got a real strong sense about something. And then if you don't listen to that or take care of that, then it just knocks you out. And it demonstrates.
Usually wait for that point.
Yeah, right. So hopefully as time gets on, we'll become a little less stubborn. So what exactly is our inner voice? What are we talking about?
I think it's something that is evolutionary, and it was there to protect us from saber-toothed tigers and the like. But I think that, we have our reticular activating system is always looking around at the surroundings, even when we're not conscious of it. By that do you mean like our subconscious, sort of our sub? I don't know if it's our subconscious or if it is a level of consciousness that we just don't hear because we've got so many layers of consciousness. I really don't know, but it's kind of like, you go buy a new car and you buy a red Toyota and you never saw a red Toyota before. The minute you buy one, you see them everywhere on the road. Mm-hmm. And that's when you become aware of something specific. Mm-hmm. So I think when we tune into our messages or intuition or whatever you want to call it,
right.
There's something behind that that's been looking around, trying to send us messages, and usually it's for safety, for our own personal health and safety, or for the safety of others, because it's the same thing like when people go by an accident, we all get irritated with rubberneckers, but there's actually an evolutionary reason for that. It's because when people, before we had cars and stuff, if a tiger would eat a person or kill a person, then everybody in the village had to take note of that. And it was a matter of, okay, I don't want this to happen to me. How did that happen to them? But it's such an evolutionary part of us that we still do it. It's irritating as it is, But, you just honestly, sometimes you have to force yourself not to look, just keep driving. Because it is, there's something in you that's compelling to make you want to peek over and see what happened.
Right. Well, and I think that's one reason probably why news is so catastrophic in its headlines.
Of course. Are they going to start the news every day with all sorts of sweetness and light? Oh, my baby woke up this morning and cooed and stuck its little toe in its mouth, and it was so cute. And a whole hour of that, I don't think anybody would sit there and listen, as lovely as that is.
Right.
It's not news.
Yeah. So when have you listened to your inner voice and it worked out well for you? And
just the other day. 2 days ago. I was walking through my mother's house. My mother was in the backyard, and I got a message in my mind, your mother's going to fall. So I immediately turned around and walked back out, looked in the backyard, and sure enough, there she was sitting in the garden on her butt. I'm like, okay. So I went, Now, when I didn't listen was last week. This is why I did listen to that one, because last week I was taking needles out of a patient, and people's faces are very vascular. And I was on one side of the patient taking out a needle on the other side of her face. And I got the message, she's going to bleed. And I always have a cotton ball there with me.
And I think for those of you who haven't had acupuncture done, even though those are little needles going in you, very rarely
that's true.
Bleed.
Every once in a while you hit a capillary, especially when it's in the face. It happens, you know. And I paid no attention. I thought, I peeked and didn't look like anything. So I took out the rest of the needles. So then she sat up and had Niagara Falls coming out the side of her head. Not exactly, but I thought, darn, I didn't listen. Had I listened, then I could have stopped that, you know. So she didn't bleed out.
Right. Good. Well, and then you had an incident about, you know, a while back, health-wise, where you didn't listen to something and it got worse.
Yes. I didn't listen. And then bang, I ended up with an autoimmune disease that completely wiped me out.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't do anything. Physically could not do anything. And I think clearly there are things I could have done earlier had I been paying attention. And I'm very good about giving other people advice about what to do. I just don't take it myself.
So we could look at as our inner voice is kind of like our little personal coach, our little environmental scanner. Yeah. And use it to our advantage, and you know, to help us out, and not wait until we get screamed at or knocked on our butt.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
Yeah. So this is the first video in a series of anywhere from 3 to 5. You know how we are, about our inner voice and how it affects us in various ways. So stay tuned for the upcoming videos, and listen to your inner voice and tell us what it's, you know, how it's working for you, or maybe even experiences where you kind of learned the quote hard way. Yeah. So until next time, I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Nancy.
Bye now.
Bye.